Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Kill That DJ with Kieran Tintle. I'm your host, Sally Jesse Raphael. Today, on the very first episode, we're going to be talking with 918 about their punk rock roots, their new EP that they recorded with Pete Steinkopf of the Bouncing Souls, and why their drummer is so into boring shit like fishing. Kill That DJ starts right now! Well, here we are, first episode. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm nervous. So I'm sitting here with 918. Elephant in the room, guys. We got to get this out of the way. I founded the band with you, Mike, when we were 15 years old. I'm not going to say what year. How has the band changed since we were two nerds in your bedroom making really shitty music together?
Well, I learned how to play my instrument now.
That helps. I didn't.
Besides just physical member count dropping off, and I don't know. Everybody just kind of got into different styles of music. Back then, everything I listened to was basically just Blink-182. You write different songs when you're 15. It's not. I don't really write songs about being late for school or anything anymore.
So I've known you guys for a long time. You're pretty no-nonsense when it comes to your songwriting and staying punk, You love three-chord songs and you wear it on your sleeve. Which artist, so to speak, popped your cherry?
Well, for me, it had to be the Ramones. I think it's kind of a staple in everybody's music.
I gotta say, Weezer, Rancid, all the classic punk bands. Newer bands like Gaslight Anthem, The Loved Ones, The Bouncing Souls, obviously. We're a punk band from New Jersey. If you're not influenced by The Bouncing Souls and you're a punk band here, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then just other bands like the Beatles. I don't know anybody that's not influenced by the Beatles.
I'd like to go on record and say I am not influenced by the Beatles, and I think they're pretty terrible. Mike, I know that your whole family is very musical. Your brother is great trumpet player, guitar player, bass player. Your dad plays. I don't know about your mom, but you come from a musical family. Tony, what about you? Were your parents musicians? Did you get raised on music, or did you kind of pick it up as you went along?
Yeah, my dad was in the marching band, actually played trumpet. Other than that, it's basically just me. I kind of picked it up. I decided I'd pick up bass one day, and I ended up being okay with it. And ever since then, I've just been playing and trying to progress in my bass playing. There's a lot more guitar players than bass players, so I figured, it would be easier finding a band,
And I'd also like to point out that bass is the only instrument that can give girls orgasms. So before we go any further, I'd like to get to the big news regarding your band. You guys just recorded an EP with Pete Steinkopf of the Bouncing Souls, which is pretty fucking awesome. Talk about that whole experience, what it was like working with him, what you learned, and give us a little sense of the EP.
Well, I'll start from the beginning. August 26, 1988. No, it was actually over a year ago. Every year the Souls do 4 nights in Asbury Park. And last year's kind of was right after Sandy, so they had a whole bunch of benefits and things going on. And one of them was get a free day of recording with Pete Steinkopf. So I filled out a little ticket and donated money and put it in. And then a month later, I got an email from him saying I won. My logic is that I must have been the only one that filled out the ticket. And, we went there. We just did a song in one day. We were there for 10 hours. And at the end of the day, he just said, come back when we have more time. Let's just do a whole record. We stayed in touch. And then this October, we went there We stayed in Asbury for 3 days. You know, he showed us pretty much everything in Asbury that he loves, and you know, we basically stayed at the house. You know, made some changes to the songs and just laid them down. Like it's just weird because they've been such a big influence, especially on my guitar playing, to kind of just be in the same room with him and have him, you know, play solos and stuff over my songs. It was just awesome. It was a good experience.
Now, I want to bring up that there are actually 3 members of 918. One of them couldn't be here today, and that is the famous Bizel, Brian Zelnicki. Is that how you pronounce it? Zelnicki? Something Polish. I don't know. But I heard a rumor that before you were going to go in and record with Pete, I think the first time, Brian wasn't sure that he could make it because he wanted to go fishing that day. And not a planned fishing trip months in advance. He just felt like going fishing. And is there any truth to this rumor? And did he actually almost miss out on recording with Pete Steinkopf because he's an idiot?
I don't think he realized like the weight of the scenario. I guess he didn't really understand who the Bouncing Souls were at the time, so he was, you know, he had obviously heard their songs, but I don't think he understood how important it was to us. So we just stayed on him, and he said, all right, I'll go. And then we went that Saturday, and we recorded, and, you know, he's been gung-ho about going down to Asbury and recording, and we haven't had a problem with that since.
Now, Tony, you don't talk very much, but this question is for you, and I need a really in-depth answer because I'm very interested. Okay. Your bass playing is very unpunk in that you seem to, like, have an idea what you're doing. You're not just up there hammering away on root notes. Like, you sort of have a method about it. You're a very, you know, melodic player, and you're throwing a lot of shit in there, and you're, you know, you make up for the lack of a second guitarist. You're a really good rhythm section. So, you know, what inspired you to play that style, and talk a little bit about your bass playing in 918.
Well, when I first started playing bass, like I mentioned, I was into Didi Ramone, so all I knew at the time was root notes. So after that, I realized I wanted to kind of more round out my bass playing. So as Mike mentioned, I got into Motown, so I got into James Jamerson, later on Bob Babbitt. After that, you know, I got into funk and more R&B, and because of that, I was able to, you know, learn how to move around the bass neck and kind of create more melodic bass playing.
Talk about the songwriting process. Talk about, you know, is it mainly just you two? Would you just talk about, you know, I can't imagine it's Bizel because he has shitty taste in music. But if you want to give him any credit, you can. But talk about the songwriting process and how you go about stuff.
When Brian first joined the band, for some reason our mentality was, all right, we got to pack as much crap into this different. We need like 12 different parts in this song. Otherwise, it's no good. And then we recorded some of those songs, and then listened to them after, and we're just like, just a mess of music. Just, you know, it's just every verse was different, every chorus was different. It just made no sense. It was too much. So we tried to just simplify things and, you know, play a little more just straight punk.
So who has the biggest cock in the band?
I don't know, maybe Bizel, because he's not here. That's why.
Have you actually seen Bizel's cock?
No interest. No interest at all.
Speak for yourself.
See, my theory is you can't really be a band until you've seen everyone's penis. I think I've seen everyone's penis in my band. They haven't seen mine, but they don't have to. So I'm the leader of the band. I do what I want. Jared's going to have a problem with that one. All right, guys. So talk about what we can expect on this EP as far as songwriting themes, you know, the kind of songs we're going to hear, and how maybe it differentiates from what you've been doing. You know what? I'm going to start out with Tony.
Oh my goodness, this is on my...
No,
I have to say something? I just show up in the studio, I lay down my bass lines, and then I leave it to Mike.
that was his input on the new EP. Yeah, we just, I don't know, I've gotten a little more personal with lyrics lately. I feel like I tried to be general, you know, when I was younger, when I wrote lyrics, and that just doesn't work. Plus, people don't really listen to know what the fuck you're talking about anyway. So I just figured, fuck it, I'll just actually say people's names, and I'll just, you know, like writing a song about, you know, a girl who cheated on her boyfriend that I, you know, kind of walked in the room on. I'm not gonna say who, but that song's not on the EP. But it's just an instance. I don't know. We kind of approached it just because we were recording with Pete, and and he's so involved with just New Jersey, and we're a punk band from New Jersey. Every song is about something, Asbury Park or just Jersey shows. Just we have a song specifically about the one time we got kicked out of the show for playing too loud.
Talk about that.
Well, we did the show as a favor. We don't. It was at the Colorado Cafe, and I'll say that into the
worst place.
The camera.
Ever.
It was the worst place ever. We played one set, which is just an hour, and literally after every song, the owner would come up to me on the side of the stage and be like, "Turn it down. This isn't Billy Joel at the Garden." Yeah, those are his exact terms. I guess that was the loudest thing he could think of was Billy Joel at the Garden. So literally every time he would come up, he'd say that to me, and I would turn to him and I'd say, "We're a punk band. You get that, right?" So we played an hour. We went to go take our break, and then the guy said, "Listen, we gotta just call this. This is just, this isn't what it is." I said, "You booked a punk band. Like, we play loud and we play fast. I don't know what you expected." He's like, "No, you got to be easy going." And I told him, I was like, "I've never changed what I played for fucking anybody. I'm not gonna do it for you." So I just asked for my money, and then he actually gave it to us, and we left. So we got kicked out for playing too loud, but he still, paid us, and it was a good punk experience. I think every punk band gets kicked out of somewhere at some point in time. So yeah, we got kicked out of the Colorado Cafe for playing. We were just too darn loud. We're just too darn loud. Just too darn loud.
All right, so I'd like to thank 918, Mike Vidal, Tony Garcia. I'd like to thank the 11th Best Bar Ever, 10th Street Live, Kenilworth, New Jersey, 11thbestbarever.com. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. This is the place to be if you're in Union County or Northern New Jersey or any part of New Jersey, so check them out. They're a great place, good food, great stage, as you can see, so come on out. And thanks for being on my first show, guys. I really appreciate it.